Hello everybody, welcome back to the Stacey West preview show. I'm your host Jake Tong. We're here for another preview. They're coming thick and fast again. This time we've got Jack from the Under the Abbey Stand podcast. Jack, how you doing?
Yeah, very well, thank you. Thanks for having me on, mate.
No worries whatsoever. It's good to be able to get a Cambridge fan on. We didn't manage to get one earlier on in the season. Let's talk about football then. Cambridge United taken very well to League One. Surprisingly, not very surprisingly. I'm just curious as to see what you think, because we went through this similar process a few years ago coming up from League Two. Do you think there's a massive gap in quality between the two divisions, between League One and League Two, or is it a little bit closer than what you anticipated last year?
I think it's definitely closer. A lot of the teams have, been in League Two or, are kind of similar sizes to Cambridge, budget-wise or whatever. Obviously, there's a lot of bigger clubs, but there's a lot of clubs in that kind of middle to bottom half who are similar size, in a kind of similar position. They've come up trying to get established in League One and look upwards. So there's definitely it's an interesting kind of league. We were tipped by everyone to be bottom, but I don't think we thought we'd be as bad as everyone thought we'd be, if you know what I mean. We had a good squad that we brought up, and I think there's quite fine margins between the top of League Two and the bottom half of League One.
Yeah, definitely. We sort of found that as well. Obviously, getting to the playoffs last year, it didn't take us too long. Cambridge then this year done really well, haven't they? They've adapted to the level quite quickly. You sat mid-table, looking quite comfortable, aren't you?
Yeah, I mean, we are looking comfortable. I think there's still a worry that if a couple more games go by and we don't get a win out of the next kind of month, which is possible, but hopefully isn't going to happen, then we'll be starting to worry, because it's only a couple of results that swing and then suddenly you're looking over your shoulder. So we need to get a couple of results in the next few games, because we're doing well in the cups, but obviously that has no influence on the league at all. So we really need to get some points on the board and, make our home form in the league as good as it is in the cups, and then, try and get some points on the road as well.
Now, I've written down about Mark Bonner. I've just wrote the man. He seems to be doing absolutely fantastic at Cambridge. Obviously, he's a Cambridge man, was on the terraces, and now he's managing Cambridge United. Just tell us a little bit about what Mark Bonner's done to the club since he came in last year.
Yeah, it's a bit of a worry, if I'm honest, because he's doing so well. He keeps on getting talked about for like other jobs in the league, or it may be moving up to the Championship. He's taken like a duck to water to management. This is his first proper job, with a limited budget, a limited squad, and he's just a very sensible manager. He's younger than Wes Houlihan, obviously one of our players. So it just goes to show he's really kind of come in. He's got the respect of the players and all the staff as well, which is huge, because you can come in and kind of be a bit overwhelmed if you're new to it, and especially at this level. But he just seems to kind of click with the players really well. And he's got the respect of the players, the fans and the staff, and has just done a really kind of astute job. He rotates well, and he just seems to know how to manage the team kind of in game, but also, from game to game, changing, rotating, and not got a bad word to say about him.
Does that prior link that you had with Cambridge before he came in, has that helped him out with the supporters? Because obviously at Appleton, at Lincoln, he obviously had nothing to do with the club. He had a loan spell years and years ago, but there was a little bit of tension there at the start. But has that Bonner and Cambridge United fan relationship, has it always been there?
I think so. Yeah, I think when he came in, he didn't really have anything to live up to. He'd done a couple of stints as caretaker. He'd done really well in them, but he knows the club from the inside out. I think there was a kind of, a proviso that we knew that he might not kind of be able to do it. It might just not be within his abilities to manage a team. So there was a bit of a gamble, but he knows how the club's run. He respects the people who run the club and the staff who were already there. And he knew the players, and the players knew who he was. And there was just like mutual respect, which I think meant there was no kind of new manager clashes with any of the players. Everyone just kind of took him as like a member of staff who was already there. So there was no clashes like that at all.
And Mark Bonner led you to a really good cup upset last weekend away at Newcastle. Were you there? What was it like? Obviously, FA Cup is massive for clubs like Lincoln and Cambridge. You know, we of all clubs would know that following our cup run a few years ago. But, you know, just tell us what that day was like from start to finish.
Oh, incredible. I mean, there was a bit of a worry, I think, when we got drawn against them, because we were worried with COVID and everything. Was there going to be a lockdown announced? Were games going to be kind of reduced fans? So, you know, by the Wednesday, when we kind of realised it was going ahead, I think the excitement really ramped up. You know, there was 5,000 fans there. Just an incredible atmosphere in the city. Newcastle fans and Spurs fans alike, just all in the same place, you know, before the game. Really kind of nice vibe. I think, you know, it was a sellout, 52,000. You know, they've got their new owners. They had Kieran Trippier playing. So there's a real like celebration atmosphere before the game. And then the atmosphere at the game was just incredible. It pissed it down all the way there in the, you know, when we were going up, we thought it'd be horrible and cold. But when we got there, it was like a nice day right up there in the top of the ground. And yeah, the atmosphere was just one of the best I've ever been to. And then obviously at full time, I've never, even in the promotion playoff final win, never celebrated a full-time whistle like that. It was like we'd scored a goal. Yeah. You know, to win a final when that full-time whistle went. Best atmosphere I've ever been to, I think.
And we'll drag you down to reality now. Last time you played in the league was a 0-0 draw against Pompey, down to 10 men as well. Obviously, you've beaten Pompey since. You beat them on Tuesday night in the Papa John's Trophy. Just about your league form, how's that sort of looking going into the game on Saturday?
I mean, it's kind of looking iffy, really. You know, we've struggled with consistent runs in the league this season, but we've not gone on any runs that are too disastrous either. You know, it wasn't good before Christmas, you know, consecutive losses to Charlton and Rotherham. Although Charlton, we felt like we went away and we gave a really good account of ourselves and we were unlucky not to come away with anything. But then, of course, the two games, you know, before that, we beat Cheltenham away from home 5-0. So, yeah, consistency's not been our best found thing in League One, but generally we bounced back. I think the draw against Pompey, to be honest, even though it was at home, I think most fans were pretty happy because it was a weird game, not necessarily a red card, I don't think, and also terribly refereed, like one of the worst refs I've ever seen at this level. Probably is worse than in the Conference and League Two as well. It was horrendous. So to come away with that at the point, we were actually quite kind of philosophical and happy, really. But we do need, you know, to get 3 points, you know, back on the board. And obviously, couldn't really pick a worse time to play Lincoln. So yeah, we're kind of concerned about that. But this month of January is absolutely huge for us in kind of just securing our place because we need to get some serious points on the board. And there's big chances as well because we're playing teams in and around us. So we'll see how that goes.
Now, you said January is a really important month. Obviously, the transfer window's open. Cambridge, have they been busy or are there many players rumoured with a link to the Abbey ground?
So we brought in a centre-back yesterday, Sam Sherring. He's come from on loan from Bournemouth. He's been at Accrington earlier this season, 10 appearances in League One. Wasn't like a proper regular, but played well, got a few clean sheets. Had a really good season with Torquay last year, getting to the playoff final in the conference with them, and a young big player. So it's what we need. We're lacking centre-backs at the moment. We've been playing our left back, Jack Iredale, at centre back, who's been doing really well. But we needed a centre back, and we sent Masterson, who was from QPR, back to QPR. So we needed to get another centre back in. So good to get him in. Not seen him play. Well, I probably have seen him play, but not realised I've seen him play. So yeah, we'll see how he is. I'd be surprised if he played on Saturday. After keeping a clean sheet at Newcastle with the back five we've been playing. So yeah, I think we'll set up with that same 4 defenders and goalkeeper, but he may come on.
And any rumours at all? Any players that you guys have been linked with? I know we've had a couple that we've been linked with for about 3 years.
There's there's rumblings of conversations, but there's not loads of kind of like big rumours. So usually we hear about it a couple of days before on the grapevine, or you know, it pops up on a message board. And we've done quite well with loanees from Prem clubs like West Ham, Spurs, and like now Championship Bournemouth. But we've not really had much, many rumours coming in. I think that the amount of games suddenly after a break over Christmas has suddenly seemed like a bit of a distraction. So the Shering signing came in pretty much out of the blue, although they said at the start of the week signings will come in. So we could expect another couple, but I've not got any names to kind of to put out there at the moment. But I don't think we'll be getting rid of anyone else in the squad now. I'd be surprised if we did without bringing someone else in.
Now, I've written down for 2 key men for Cambridge. I can imagine you can probably guess the 2 names that I've written down.
Well, I imagine one of them is Joe Ironside.
One of them is Joe Ironside.
Yeah, and the other one, well, it depends if it's based on the weekend or generally. Is the other one Wes Houlihan?
The other one is Wes Houlihan.
Yeah.
Talk to me about those 2, because I remember watching Joe Ironside at Kidderminster when he was playing down in the lower leagues, and I thought he was brilliant. So I was surprised, well, not surprised at all to see him make the jump up to Cambridge in League One. So just tell us a little bit about those 2.
Ironside, really, really interesting one. Second last season, he kind of played second fiddle to Paul Mullin. Paul Mullin scored 34 goals for us, was incredible. Then made the decision to go and play for Wrexham, which hasn't necessarily worked out for him, but all the best to him. He got us promoted. So Joe Ironside was like a supporting striker last year, like the man who held up the ball and then got it off to the main striker. This year, he's become our main focal point, and he's just unbelievable. He holds the ball up, he draws fouls from players. He links up really well. He's really good with his feet as well. He doesn't necessarily look like he would be. Really good close control. Scores regularly for us, but also is good at, assisting the goal. You saw his goal against Newcastle, just really good instinctive striker. He's just been such like a massive reason why we are where we are this season, because without him, we would have struggled. Houlihan, has just been an absolute revelation. The summer before he signed, we were rumoured with him, and he trained with us and then moved to Australia. And we thought that was it, that was the dream gone. But then the next summer he came back and he signed, and obviously was instrumental in getting promoted. And then, this season he's just been incredible. He kind of only plays Saturdays and not Tuesdays, just, because of the age and, match fitness. And he didn't play against Newcastle. And he came on near the end, and then he played for the first time ever Tuesday night in the Papa John's because he's getting back to fitness. So there may be an eventuality on Saturday that he doesn't actually play.
Oh, superb.
So, it would be a real shame if he didn't. But we set up really well against Newcastle without Wes, and we kept clean sheet and won. So it's possible, but it's just we need to get back to full fitness, and that takes longer. But he's been instrumental. His distribution is just incredible. He set up the winner on Tuesday night with an incredible outside of the boot cross. And he's just like a proper flair player, but also just really composed, and just you can see that class. It's amazing to have him, really.
And whilst those 2 grab the headlines, is there someone for you that's underrated in the Cambridge squad? That one player that's underrated.
It's hard to pick one. We've been really good all over the park this season, and if I had to pick one, it would be Jack Iredale, purely because he was so good as our left back at the start of this season, marauding forward, linking the play, and then an absolute injury crisis gets him pulled across to centre back out of position, and he's played just incredibly there, like a duck to water. He's gone to St James's Park and kept a clean sheet, But in the league all season, he's just been incredible. And I think, Mitov, our keeper, grabbed the headlines on Saturday with just, amazing saves. And he's been really good all season. There were questions about him last season, and there's always been questions about him. So it's nice to see that and some confidence with your back line, even when it is kind of, players out of position. So I'd say one of those 2, or Adam May in midfield, is a really good, strong kind of linchpin for us, but I don't want to name every player in the squad.
Now, I'm going to have to bring it up, unfortunately for you, that the game earlier in the season that took place, Anthony Scully made the Abbey Stadium his absolute playground. Were you at the game? Were you seriously impressed with Lincoln that day? Because I think that's probably been our best performance so far this year.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the start to that game was just, we looked like rabbit in headlights, didn't we? And that's not really happened to us many times this season at all. Even when we've been on the back foot, we've kind of absorbed the pressure or done whatever. But that game, we were just, outplayed. I think we came back into the game quite well. And after that third goal, the second half and the first half, we were kind of playing it about a bit more. But yeah, we were overran all day, really. And it came at quite a positive time. We were just finding our feet, and then suddenly we got pumped at home, and it felt a bit a bit worrying, but we bounced back. But I think Cambridge will remember that, and I think there'll be a bit of an axe to grind, and they'll come back and they'll be trying to kind of avenge that result, because we're better than that, but equally it can still happen. You can still get pumped at this level by a team. I think we thought at the start of the season Lincoln would be up there, to be honest. We thought we'd be, we maybe expected it at the start of the season, and then we were like, maybe we can get something here. So I think we will fancy doing something at the weekend.
I didn't think it helped Cambridge cause almost every goal was an absolute screamer, wasn't it? All the goals literally went right in the top corner. Let's go on to Saturday then. What are we expecting? You said Cambridge are probably going to try and come out and get some sort of revenge. Are you expecting 3 points?
It's so difficult to call, isn't it? We're riding a great wave at the moment, from 2 great cup wins. And as I say, kind of a positive feeling off that 0-0 with Pompey. We had a bit of a refreshing kind of Christmas and New Year with those games being called off because of COVID. So Mark Bonner was really happy to have the team able to train together without, match, distraction really. So I feel like there's positivity surrounding Cambridge. I don't think we're going expecting to get 3 points, but we want to come away with a positive result. I think we believe we can do, but I think, a draw minimum is what we're going there for. And yeah, we'd be confident in that. That's not to say that the same or similar couldn't happen, but I think Cambridge will really feel, this is a platform to build on with these 2 good cup games. And, a busy January, they'll want to get a point at least coming away from Lincoln at the weekend.
And that's all well and good what Cambridge United think, but what do you think, Jack? Do you think Cambridge are going to come and turn us over? Bear in mind, we're first time we've recorded back-to-back wins this season against Oxford and Sunderland. Would you take a point personally?
Yeah, personally, yeah, because you're kind of in a dangerous vein of form at the moment. You're looking pretty good to go to the Stadium of Light, regardless of any other circumstances or situation. To go there and score 3 goals. You don't want to be coming and playing that team the game after, that's for sure. So we're very realistic and aware of how Lincoln are doing. So I would personally definitely take a point. But yeah, I think it's going to be a good game. I think both teams are going to be well up for it, and it's quite important because of how the table's looking, where we both are on the table. So I think it's actually going to be a really good game. I reckon there'll be goals. I reckon both teams will score, and I reckon it'll be tight. We're literally next to each other in the table. You're only a point above us, so it's it feels like this is our big game of 2022 so far in the league. So yeah, it's quite exciting, really.
Dave, stick your neck on the line and give a score prediction.
All right, I'm going to go 2-1 Cambridge, late winner.
Big one. Anyway, thanks for coming on, Jack. Massively appreciated. Would you like to plug your own podcast? I know you're quite big on there.
Yeah, under the Abbey Stand, at Abbey Stand Pod on all the socials. And nice one. Thanks for having us on, Jake.
Yeah, really good listen, guys. Make sure you go over and listen to their sort of analysis after the game on Saturday. Thank you, everybody else, for watching. We'll be back for another preview this week. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, all that sort of garbage. And we'll see you next week.